everyone. I'm Melissa here, and welcome to your Melissa Moment. Hello, everyone. Melissa here. Welcome to your Melissa Moment, and welcome to Make It Monday. We are doing a DIY project today, and I'm kind of excited about it because I've been wanting to do this one for a while. And I said, finally, this is it. We're doing it today. So if you've been following me for a while, you may remember when I did a Value Village haul, and this was one of the items that I got from Value Village. I apologize for the glare on here, but this was originally from Winners. I know, because the original price was still on it. It's like a little advent calendar. Okay, so originally it was $50 from Winners, and I got it at Value Village, and it was $25. Now, I still think that's too high, Value Village. I understand you half of the original price. I get that, but you're Value Village. These things are given to you for free. So I do feel it was a little much. Don't worry, I did use a coupon, so I did get my discount off of that price. But still, I still think it was a bit much. Here's one of the reasons I got it. Number one, it spoke to me. I love like crystal and glass and stuff. I love it. So this is like an advent calendar style of item. What was important to me is all of the doors are intact. They're not cracked. They're not broken, as far as I know. I think they're all intact. And it's in pretty good condition. There are a couple issues on it. For example, let me find it. You might see it before I do. Here. Okay. So the back, the paint's kind of chipped off, and it's got kind of a rub mark on the top corner there. Honestly, guys, other than that, it's in excellent condition. There's nothing wrong with it. All the doors work. They all open. Like I said, the glass is all intact. I have seen another one of these there. I can't remember if it was at the same time or a different time, but some of the doors were actually completely missing. Like, what are you going to do with that? So I picked this up. Now, I love the idea of the advent calendar, okay? But things can be more than one thing, right? So I had an idea when I saw this. Well, first off, I saw it. I loved it. It immediately went in my cart because there were a lot of people in the aisle at the time. And I'm like, just put it in the cart. You can make a decision later. Just put it in the cart. I've learned my lesson. So here's my idea. And I think I may have said this on the video when I unboxed this or I did a haul. Number one, it's black. I want it to be white. Okay? I want it to be white. Everything in my house, I mean, I do have some things that are black. I have some black accents and stuff, but for the most part, it's gray and white. I want this to be white. So I want to paint it. So the little imperfections and stuff, I'm going to cover that up anyway. Okay? So it doesn't matter. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to paint it. We're going to paint it white. Now, I cannot, these doors, from what I can tell, they don't come out. Okay, so that kind of sucks. Now, I'm okay that the inside is black. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to go crazy and paint the whole inside. I'm not even going to paint like the outside here of these glass doors. I just want like all of this, and I want the rest of it to be white. Okay, so I went to the dollar store this morning and I picked up a couple things that we're going to need. First thing I picked up, a plastic tablecloth, because this is what I use as my drop cloth, okay? You can buy drop cloths, like painter's drop cloths. They're 25 cents more for the painter's drop cloth. These were $1.25. And I'm not going to need the whole thing. So I'm just going to cut off what I need to cover my table. And then the rest I can keep for another project. Okay. I always like to have some plastic tablecloths in my house especially like if you have kids, it's great because if they want to do a craft or something, you just put that down. You know, it used to be when I grew up, you'd grab newspaper. Who has newspaper anymore, right? Very few people. So these are great to have. I also picked up some white acrylic paint. I'm pretty confident I already have white paint in the basement, but I'm like, you know what? We'll just pick up a new one. It's fine. So I got some white acrylic paint. I did pick up some painter's tape because we are going to have to cover each individual door because we don't want to get paint on the glass. Now, here's the thing. If we did get paint on the glass, it's not the end of the world because it's acrylic paint. It will come off fairly easy, but I still want to put painter's tape at least around the edges of it just to make it a little easier for me in the long run. Paintbrushes. I did get some foam brushes because I think that will work just fine. I also wanted foam brushes because I like that you can like squeeze them into like all the little crevices and stuff because this does have quite a few little angles. So I got some foam brushes. And then I did just get a little pack of artist brushes that have different types of cuts and thicknesses to the brush, just for kind of like the small areas to get into. I thought that would be good. The other thing I did pick up, which I haven't decided if we're going to do yet or not, you guys, I did pick up a hand sanding block with different grits of sandpaper. I don't know if we're going to sand it. I'm debating. There's pros and cons to sanding. Okay, number one, con, it makes a huge mess. Huge mess, right? Dust everywhere, breathing that stuff in. I did not buy a mask, although I'm sure I could find one, but whatever. Pro, it will help to smooth out any rough spots before we paint it, right? Another pro, possibly, because this is black and we want to go white, by sanding it first, it might make it easier. I may not need as many coats of white to cover the black because I did not buy a primer. I just bought white paint. So if we sand it first, it might be easier in the long run. Otherwise, we may have to put quite a few coats of white paint on this for it to be a true white. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Okay. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. Okay. So I'm kind of excited. We are going to obviously fast forward through quite a bit of this video as I'm painting because you guys don't want to just sit there and watch me paint for, who knows, 2 hours. I don't know how long it's going to take me. But I'm going to pause here. I'm going to set up my table. I'm going to take off all the stickers on this. We're going to take all the stickers off. I'm going to tape all of these beautiful glass doors with my painter's tape. And then I'll come back and we'll start painting it. Okay? So make it Monday. Do you guys want to do something with me too? Are you in the crafty mood? Do you have maybe a project like this that you have in a corner somewhere, in a closet, in a drawer, in the basement where you're like, I'll get to that eventually? Why not grab it now? Grab it now. Or if you don't have an actual project, but you just feel like, hey, maybe I should paint, or maybe I should color, or maybe I should do something creative. Grab something. Do it with me. I think it'd be fun. Okay, we'll be back in just a jiff. Okay. I think I know why it's taken me so long to do this project. I started painting the little doors, as you can see. I got the first row done, and I realized this is taking me forever. I have no patience. So we're not going to tape the rest of the doors. We're just going to be careful, and we're just, whatever happens, happens. I have confidence in my abilities to paint, so we're just going to go for it. I did remove the stickers. I did try to sand it a little bit, and then I realized this paint is thick. I just did the back a little bit. You can't tell, except for right up here. So I gave up on the sanding too. Now, again, if this was going to be like a gift for someone or I was reselling it or something like that, I probably would put the time and effort into the sanding and the taping. But this is just for me. I think it'll be fine. So we're just going to go for it. Okay. We're just going to go for it. I am going to start by going around all of these doors first. That's where I'm going to start with the painting. And then we'll probably paint the top and the sides. And then once that dries, I'll probably flip it over and do the back and all that kind of thing. So I also did not have like paper plate or anything like that to put my paint into. So I just made a little makeshift bowl with tinfoil because that's how I roll. So we're just going to give the acrylic paint a bit of a shake, and then we're going to put it in there, and we're just going to go for it, you guys. We're just going to go for it. Now, since I'm going around the doors first, obviously I'm not using the sponge brush. So we've got 5 different brushes that I could choose to do this work. Looking at them, I'm either going to go with this one or this one. I'm thinking this one though, because I'm hoping that it will give me what I need to get into all the little crevices. And just to remind you, we're not doing ins like around here. This is all going to stay like the dark black or brown. Same with the inside. We just want to go literally the front. Okay, that's what we're going to start with. Now, this may also look horrible over the black. We'll see. I'm also only putting a small amount of paint in here to start because this is going to take a while and the paint, I don't want it to dry out. Now, I am also going to have to turn it toward me, so you guys aren't going to be able to really see me that well. Maybe what I should do is set you up behind me so you get a better view of what's happening. Let me do that real quick. Okay, we're going to try this. I apologize. There's a lot of sunshine coming through behind you and here. But hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. So yeah, let's just start. Now, like I said, we'll probably fast forward through some of this because I'm a pretty quiet painter and I have OCD. So I try to take my time, especially in delicate spots, which is where we're starting. So bear with me. So we've got kind of the first coat on there. I'm going to switch to my foam brush now to do this bottom part a little bit better. And like I said, it's not going to look great, and that's okay. This is our first coat, okay? We're just trying to cover up that dark paint. That's all we're trying to do here. So don't worry. If it doesn't look good, it's fine. It will be fine. We just want to get in all those little crevices and try to cover up this dark paint. Like, I know sometimes people, when they thrift, they're like, oh, that would be perfect if only it was a different color, right? Sometimes people forget, or maybe they just don't want to, but it's fairly easy to change the color on things. Like, I bought a bird bath, like a plastic bird bath at Value Village for like $6. And I'm like, it was supposed to be white, I think, but the sun had bleached it and it looked yellow. I'm like, you know what? I want to paint that. And literally a can of spray paint and some sealant, and it looked great. I think we did that on this channel, actually. So don't be scared of having to paint something if it's not quite exactly what you want it to be. I mean, obviously, if you're buying it brand new, you probably don't want to do that. I mean, you still could, but, you know, I'm going to leave the bottom right now because I don't want to get paint on this. We're just going to turn it and do this part. But yeah, like, if you're buying brand new, maybe, unless you really can't find the color you want, it's like a very custom color or something, then yeah, you're going to have to paint it. But otherwise, if you're buying brand new, you know, you probably want to just get whatever color you actually want it to be. And I could have left this dark, but I just didn't want to. I think the white is just going to look so much better in the space I'm putting it. So that's what we're doing. So once I get this back done, we want to let it dry. I think a lot of people, they don't have any patience and they just want to jump in with that second coat like right away. I'm going to say don't do that, because what happens is if you try to paint over paint, oh, we have a package, before it dries, it's going to pull the paint off. I'm going to have to go see what that is, guys. Oh, no, it's okay. He left it. Perfect. I know exactly what that is. That's my mother's Temu order. She's been calling me nonstop since she ordered Temu, seeing if it's come yet. I think it finally did. Watch, this will be the one day she doesn't call to see if the Temu order's here. Okay. Now the nice thing is acrylic paint does dry fairly quickly, but I do want to make sure that it is fully dried. Because if it's not, and you try to go over it too soon, like I was saying, see up here, it's not quite dry yet. If I were to go over it again, look what it does. It kind of pulls the paint off. We don't want that. So this is where your patience comes in. And some people have more patience than others, especially when it comes to painting. But we are going to stop once we get this part done. And I'm going to let it dry. like I said, it does dry fairly quick, but I want to make sure that it's completely dry before I go to do a second coat. So okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, we got fairly good coverage. I was really worried because it was so dark. I was pretty worried that it wasn't going to cover very well, but I think it will. So like I said, we're going to take a break. I'm going to let it fully dry. I mean, it's not going to like, this is almost dry up here. You know what? The front is probably dry, if I'm being honest. But I am going to take a break. I haven't actually had breakfast yet. I know you guys are probably watching this later in the day. But I'm going to go have some breakfast, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to put a second coat on. I have a sneaky suspicion this is going to be a 3-coat paint job, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited because I think we can actually get this done today, which will be really nice. Now, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to paint the very, 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 very bottom yet or not. I might leave it dark. We'll see. Because no one's really going to see it. We'll see. That'll be a decision for later. But that's it for now. I hope you guys are having a good crafting session or painting session or whatever you're doing. Or if you're just watching me, I hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you've subscribed and you click that notification button so you get notified every time I do a new video. Please give me a thumbs up. Make a comment if you want. I do read all comments and I will respond to you. So I'm going to take a break. Go take a break yourself and we will be back in just a bit. Okay guys, we're back. Now I probably should start on the front, but because that takes so much time, we're just going to do a second coat here on the top and the back first. Now because we have that first coat down and we could be as messy as we want it to be, it's kind of like if you're a baker and you're doing like a crumb coat on a cake before you actually make the icing look pretty. It's okay that it looks really bad. This is our second coat now. So now you want to start putting a little bit more care into your painting. You're going to get a lot better coverage here. So you just want to kind of slow things down and make sure you're being nice with your brush strokes. And like I said, I have a suspicion this is going to take 3 coats, but we'll see. So you can see how much better coverage we have now that we have that first kind of layer down. But again, you see the more I go over it, the more the black kind of comes through. So you don't really want to go over it too much. Again, we're just trying to get down another kind of layer here. So we know we're doing a 3rd coat. So don't worry too much about it. But just make sure your brush strokes are kind of nice. If you see any drips, now's the time to fix those drips. Otherwise, they will dry that way and then you will have, you know, some raised spots. If any of you guys are painters and you're watching me, I apologize. Like I said, I am not a painter by trade, so, you know, no judgment here. Judgment-free zone, right? Always. Always judgment-free zone. But we're getting there. I feel like we are getting there, even though some of it doesn't quite look great. I feel like we are getting there. I mean, you guys, like, we're getting there. Like, that's definitely looking way better than it did. You know what I mean? I'm getting happy with it. You guys, were getting there. It's almost done. It's looking good. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting pretty happy with it. So you got to trust the process. I almost gave up, but we're okay. So I'm going to just step away. I'm going to let this dry for a little bit. I got to clean off my hands. And then we'll come back. I'm thinking one more coat. Just because I still see a little bit of the dark coming through. And I really want it to be like a pure white. So one more coat, and then we're going to take off what painter's tape I did have on there. And then we're going to clean off those doors and probably paint the bottom as well. I'm still, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Should I? Let me know in the comments. Should I paint the bottom or not? Let me know. But yeah, we'll be back in a bit. So hopefully it won't take too long. Okay, we'll see you guys soon. Okay, we've had our little break. I've given it a chance to dry. I feel like it's pretty good. We're going to come back here and just do one more coat. I really hope one more coat is going to let us finish this off. Here's the top. So the top looks pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to do just one more coat on there. So again, you probably can't tell, but this little corner here, it's driving me nuts a little bit. But that's okay. We're just gonna give it a chance to dry, and then we're gonna just go back in with our paintbrush for one last coat. I'm just gonna touch up any little imperfections around the windows that I see where I'm like, ooh, that needs a little bit of touch up there. Just gonna pop in with the paintbrush just for any little spots like here. A lot of our little, let me bring you closer so you can really see what I'm talking about. We've got like a lot of like drips of paint, like all over these. So remember how I said I'm not going to worry about it, I'll clean it off later? Well, it's now later. So all we're going to do to clean those off is I have got a wet paper towel. Okay. Wet paper towel, and hang on, fold it up a little bit here. So wet paper towel, I have a dry paper towel, and I have a Tupperware citrus peeler, okay? If you don't have one of these, you don't need one, but let me tell you, I use this Tupperware citrus peeler for everything. It comes in so handy. If you ever get a chance to get your hands on one of these, do it, okay? Have more than one because they come in so handy. It's got a little flat piece here. That's what we're going to be using. So let's just start with number 1. So you can see we've got paint up in this corner. Maybe you can't see. I'm just going to take this and it literally comes right off. It just comes right off. It's not going to scratch the glass or anything. We've got some up here. Again, I'm just going, look at that. It's scraping right off, you guys. Right off. We've got some down the side here. So it goes right in there. We can take our little wet paper towel, wrap it around that piece. So it will go right in between and remove any bits of paint that we don't want on there. Then we can just give the whole door a little wipe. If there's any little bits on there, use your citrus peeler. Grab your dry cloth. Dry it. Just like that. Just like that, you guys. This is coming off so easy. Just like that. Like I said, if you have any little bits in the corners, use that citrus peeler. It will take it right off. Okay. Get in around in here. It'll take it right off. Dry paper towel. Now, I can't remember if I told you what I'm planning on using this for. It is meant for an advent calendar, like at Christmas time. However, I do not need a Christmas advent calendar. But what I thought would be a fun thing to use this for would be, before I tell you, what do you think I'm using it for? I'm not using it for a Christmas advent calendar. I can tell you that much right now. That's not what I'm using it for. So now that you know that, I'll give you a minute to think about what other uses or purposes this thing could have. It's got 25 doors. What could I do with it? Put your answer in the comments. And who knows, maybe you guys have got better ideas than what I do. And maybe I'll switch it up. But what could you use something like this for? Other than what it's meant for, which is a Christmas advent calendar. Now I may want to go in and touch up a little bit around these doors, but I might not. I think it's looking pretty good actually. So these ones, I'm just going to open them because there's quite a bit of paint underneath here, but this is going to take it right off. Look at that, like right off. Like no issues whatsoever with any of that, you guys. Okay, give these a wipe. Okay, did you have a chance to put your answers in the comments? If you need more time, pause the video here because I'm going to tell you what my thought was. Okay, as we finish cleaning, give these just a bit of a wipe. Some of them have a little more paint than others. Hang on guys, I want to get this paint off here before we get into it. Okay. Back up in here. Paint. Scratch it off. I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with this. Like, this is pretty good. I wasn't sure if the white was gonna come out the way I wanted it to or not, but I'm pretty happy with it. Go. Okay. It's pretty good, you guys. There's just a little bit down here. I'm going to use the citrus peeler to scrape right off. Same with number 25. It's right into those corners. Perfect. 23 and 24, boom. Okay. You guys, I think we've done it. So this is it now. It's all clean. It's all white. It looks perfect. I will probably give the bottom a little bit of a once over with some paint. But yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm glad I painted it white. I think it's going to suit the decor much better. And what I am going to use this for is for date night. My husband and I, we have tried to do date night, and sometimes we do, sometimes it just doesn't work with our schedule. Sometimes it's like, yeah, let's do a date night, but what do we do, right? Because we can't always go out, because we don't always have a babysitter, and it's like, what do we do? So I thought, how cool would it be to come up with some little ideas and put one idea behind each door, and we can take turns. Every time it's date night, he can choose a door, and whatever's behind that door is what we have to do. Or if it's my turn, then I get to do it. And I think what I'll probably do is
put behind each door 2 different ideas. One idea that we can do at home and one idea that we can do out. Just because we're not going to know if we're able to go out or not until probably that night. So that way we still can do something. So that's kind of my idea for this. I think it's going to work. I think it'll be fun because it also has that element in there of a surprise, right? And it's not like one person really gets to choose like, oh, let's go to a movie. And the other person's like, I didn't really want to do a movie, right? It's kind of like, well, whatever the paper says is what we do. It's completely random. I can get him to give me some ideas as well, so they're not just all my ideas. And yeah, I thought it'd be really fun. So that is it for today's Make It Monday. A little bit of a different Make It Monday. So far up till now, it's been all kind of recipes and stuff. But I thought doing some little DIY projects would be kind of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's Make It Monday. Let me know if you did anything crafty today or if you have plans to do anything crafty. And share pictures and stuff in the comments because I love to see how creative other people are. So thank you so much for watching. As always, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.